Hi everyone, this is Gohar Arzuchand. Let's discuss something around history. See, history is considered a dry subject because of a lot of factual information involved in it. But at the same time, it becomes very important considering the weightage that it has in the actual examination. So you should never be neglecting the subject in particular. I'll just tell you the sources that I referred. History is divided into three parts. One is the ancient history, second is the medieval history, and third is the modern history. For ancient history, I refer to R.S. Sharma's book. For medieval history, I refer to Satish Chandra's book. And for modern history, there is one book by Rajiv Ahir sir, that is by Spectrum Publication, I think. So I referred these three books for three parts of the history. But then, see, a lot of factual information isn't covered in the R.S. Sharma and Satish Chandra's book, and they sometimes become quite huge to read. So that's why what I did was that I picked up one another book that was by Tarun Goel. So it has different components, like it has geography as one component, ancient history, medieval, modern. So I read some of the factual information from there as well. So these 3-4 were my sources that I referred for history. And apart from that, there is one book by Poonam ma'am. She's, I think, IRS officer, and it covers both ancient and medieval history comprehensively. And it has also a flow chart that covers the chronology of history from ancient till medieval times. So that I found after I gave my mains. So I found that book very, very helpful. But because I had appeared in prelims at that time and I had also cleared that, so I didn't get the time to read that. So I would suggest you that you can substitute this R.S. Sharma's book and the Satish Chandra's book with Poonam ma'am's book, that is for both ancient and medieval history. And for modern history, you have to refer to the book by Spectrum Publication, that is by Rajiv Ahir sir. So now I'll tell you the important things that you have to memorize in all these different parts of history. First is the ancient history. See, the different stone ages, you have to read about them. What was the lifestyle of people, mostly about the social, economic and cultural aspect of that part. Then you have the Indus Valley civilization, very, very important. Every year you will see 1 or 2 questions from that part. You have to, again, no need to cover about different, I'm not able to recall whether there was any battle mentioned in those books, but it's mostly about social, economic and cultural aspect of Indus Valley civilization. Then you have the Vedic age, again the literature during that age, very important. Then you have different glossary of terms during that particular age. So you will see that there are a lot of different terms mentioned in different books. So you have to know what does those terms mean. So that's very important. For example, Jana was there, then there were different names of different cow was given some name and horse was given some name. So you have to know about that as well, that what does this term mean. Third is then the Mauryan age, very important. No need to remember the rulers. If some ruler is known by some particular name, you should be knowing that, but no need to remember the battles that they fought. It's mostly about the social, economic and also the political aspect. Like you might come across the term Prohita. So you should be knowing what does it mean. So these terms are very, very important. Every year there are questions from different terms that are mentioned in your ancient or medieval history books. So you should be knowing them very well. And then you have the Gupta's time. So these are some important topics that you should be knowing in the ancient history. Then in medieval history, you have the Turkish invasion. Second is the Delhi Sultanate, very, very important. You should be knowing about different kings. No need to remember the battles, but the cultural aspect of the tenure of different kings, that you should be well aware of. Third is the Mughal emperors. So they are very, very important. Every year you will find questions from Mughals time. So Mughals are very important. You should be knowing about architecture, the cultural aspect, the social aspect, the economic Mansardari system was there, Zabti system was there. So they are very, very important terms. You will find them in NCRTs. If you read the new NCRTs, you will find them in Satish Chandra's book as well as Poonam ma'am's book. Now, if you're going to ask me, I will suggest you to read Poonam ma'am's book only for ancient and medieval. Or alternatively, if you find Tarun Goel's book sufficient, you can go through. It's sufficient. I think it covers a lot of factual information, and that's what you require in prelims examination. But it's not going to help you in the mains examination. There you have to write a detailed answer. But then again, ancient and medieval history are not there in your mains syllabus. It's only art and culture during those times that is mentioned in your syllabus. So that demands a different strategy altogether. So I'll be dealing that in some other session. And after that, you have the modern time. That is the book by Spectrum Publication. That's the only book you have to read. In that, you have to read about rise of East India Company. Very important. Rise. How did other powers decline in India, and how did this power rise? Then you have to read about decline of Mughal kingdom, and after that you have to read about different sessions of Congress. How did Congress came up? how does Congress come up actually, and after that you have to read about different viceroys, different governor generals, and the governor of Bengal. Initially, it was governor of Bengal, but then the nomenclature changed to governor general of Bengal. I think then governor general of India, then viceroy. So you should be knowing about important viceroys and what were the important things, what were the important works they did during their tenure. They are very, very important. And then you can go on reading about different events. Swadeshi movement was there. Then you have the different sessions of Congress, very important. Different events came up during those sessions, so they become very important for you. And who's heading that particular session, that's also very important. And after that, you have the non-cooperation movement, Khilafat and non-cooperation movement. You have civil disobedience movement. So these are important events that you should be aware about those events and the events associated with these particular events as well. So you should be having knowledge about that as well. After that, you have the Quit India movement. Then you have different plans like the Cabinet Mission was there, the Simon Commission was there, different acts are there, the 1909, 1919, 1935. So these acts, important points about these acts you should be aware about. And this is how you will cover history. It's not a big deal, big nut to crack. But yes, it demands a lot of time, a lot of attention on your part. Another strategy that you can adopt is that you can make chronology of different events. That makes it easier for you to remember things. For example, you can start from Indus Valley civilization, then go on to Maurya's time, then go on to Vedic time, then to Maurya's time, then to Gupta's, and then to the Delhi Sultanate, Mughals, and then carry on till 1947. So this will make it easier for you to remember a lot of things. And the second strategy that I adopted was that I solved a lot of MCQs, as I tell in every one of my videos, that solving MCQs is the most important thing that you are going to do in this preparation phase. So you should be solving as much MCQs as possible. You can find them online on different websites, or alternatively you can buy one book that would be covering the previous year question papers. So you can solve them as well. So solve as much MCQs as you can on all the particular topics that are mentioned in your syllabus or that are there in the book. So this was the strategy that I adopted for my history subject, and again I was able to solve most of the questions by reading these books only. So I'll just again mention the sources that I referred. I read R.S. Sharma for ancient history, Satish Chandra for medieval history, and Spectrum's book for modern. I didn't read the Bipin Chandra, that was quite fat book, so I was not comfortable reading that. So I rejected that actually, because it was becoming difficult to revise those fat books when the return on investment is equally good in these tiny books. So you should not be going there. Then if you want, you can substitute the ancient and medieval part with Poonam ma'am's book. You can find that on Amazon. So that's all about my strategy in history. If you like my videos, please like it, share it with your friends, and also consider subscribing the channel so that the community may increase and YouTube will recommend it to more people. So I'll be coming up with the things I'm left with in some other video. Till then, bye bye, take care.